Hey everybody, welcome to the world of South African custom knives, and I am your host, Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, coming at you tonight with a brand new piece once again because I can't stop myself. Why bother? The credit card has gone through the roof. I really don't care. No, just kidding. We're keeping it in check, guys, to be honest with you. But that's going to be another video for another time. I'll give you my secrets to how to keep yourself in check with money. But today we're going to take a look and see what's in here. So let's go ahead and open it up and let's get into it because the color is stunning. Stunning in blue. Look at that. Shall we just take a good quick look? Let everybody just feast their eyes on the knife closed. All the way around, beautiful blue and black and gorgeous and mine. I know I hate to say that to you, but unfortunately it is mine. So, absolutely gorgeous piece. Now, the gentleman that made this knife is none other than J.D. Van Deventer. There are his initials right there. And this guy is at the height, as I've said before, this guy's at the height of his knife-making powers. He is on the prowl. He's making knives 24/7. And he just loves what he does. And he's at the point in his career where he knows what to make and how to make it correctly. Now, let's just go ahead and get right into this. So, excuse me. This knife is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece by J.D. Van Deventer. Let's just put it down there for a minute. We'll get into the specs right now. Like I said, this is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece by J.D. Van Deventer. The blade length is 3.25. The cutting length is 3.1. The total length of the knife is 7.9 inches. The blade height at the heel is 1.15. The blade thickness right near the bolster, right here, is 1.5. And at midpoint, right about this point right here, this is midpoint, it goes down to about 0.14. And then the blade thickness near the tip, as it goes all the way down to the tip, it gets down to 0.04. It's got a nice little tip there. The knife weighs approximately 3.8 ounces. And the blade steel is none other than the very familiar M390. It is a contoured blue carbon fiber twill, or contoured blue twill inlaid with marble carbon fiber, black. The back of the knife has got a titanium pocket clip. Look at that beautiful pocket clip. It's got these little blue specks in it. Really pretty. Really hot. Love that. Now, the knife runs on IKBS ball bearing system. Not ceramic, though. Doesn't run on ceramic bearings. It just runs on regular bearings, tool steel bearings. And look how smooth it is. It's an argument, probably, that, sometimes, because the knife is designed a certain way, ceramic bearings may not be necessary. I think that's the case with this piece, because you would think that this knife has ceramic bearings the way it closes so smoothly. I mean, I've never seen, that's very, very high quality on that knife. Look at that. Look at that. That is ridiculous. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. I'm going to bring out the old familiar because it's all I've got. One day I do plan on getting other knives that other people are familiar with. But for now, we'll just keep using same knives and hope that you guys know the familiarity of the size of this knife. So here it is up against the ZT 0900, which is now discontinued. There you go. And here it is up against the Spyderco Swiss Bowie. Anodized again also. As you can see, it is a fairly medium-sized knife. It's not very, very large. Let's go ahead and put it up against the large Inkosi so you can see the difference. So that's a Spyderco Swiss Bowie. And it's the same size, basically. Just about the same size. This blade length on the Spyderco Swiss Bowie, I believe, is 3.4 inches. This is 3.3, but you can barely even tell. I mean, from the way that they seem to size up against each other. But yes, this blade is slightly larger. So now, up against the Inkosi. So there you go. Let's go ahead and move stuff up more into the center. There you go. I don't know why I have trouble doing that. Up against the center of the presentation there. So there it is up against the Inkosi. And finally, last but not least, let's put it up against the all too familiar Sebenza 21. So there you have it. So it's obviously it's between a large knife and a small knife, as you can see. Hence the name of the knife. The name of the knife is called the Gold Midi Flipper with blue twill and marble carbon fiber with an M390 blade. Now, the design for this knife goes to a gentleman named Jared Van Otterloo. He was the gentleman that actually designed the knife itself. Jared Van Otterloo, he's responsible for the design. So it's basically a collaboration between J.D. Van Deventer and Jared Otterloo. Both people getting together and making a knife. You're seeing that quite a lot these days with South African knife makers. They tend to get together and collaborate on pieces. Andre Van Heerden does it quite a bit with Andre Thorburn and their A2 knives. I mean, it is just something that everybody seems to be doing these days. We've got Andre Van Heerden getting together with Tashi Barucha. They are the two people responsible for the design of this custom piece right here. So that's kind of a new thing that I wouldn't want to say it's a new thing, but it's certainly something that's becoming more and more familiar in the world of customs, where you have two knife makers getting together, creating a piece, and one person's name will be, I guess, the lead on the project. I don't know how they do that, but I mean, in this case, it's Andre Van Heerden working with Tashi Barucha on the design of the knife. Over here, we've got Jared Otterloo working with J.D. Van Deventer. It's just the way they do things, but either way, it's kind of nice in a way because it shows that neither knife maker, you know, it doesn't really matter who makes a knife. If there's a beautiful piece of artwork that needs to be created, there are going to be people that are going to want to do it together, regardless of you know, who gets the credit. At least in my opinion, anyway. So this knife actually comes in two other sizes. There's and I don't have those. There's the I believe there's the Gold Mini, which is a very, very small knife. It's probably the same size as this J.D. Van Deventer piece, which is also a one-of-a-kind handmade. I've done a video on on this knife. If you want to see that knife, you can check it out on my channel. So basically, you have to picture this knife this size, because it does exist. It's called the Gold Mini, and then there's a larger one. And I'm only showing this to you guys for comparison. There's a larger one, the same exact size as the Inkosi, with like a I believe it's like a 3.7 inch blade. This is 3.6. So this is the middle version of between both of those knives, and they look exactly the same. Same design, created by both Jared Otterloo and J.D. Van Deventer, and they come in different variations and different custom styles. This is the one that I picked because it's blue, and I'm a sucker for blue knives in my knife collection. In fact, obviously my L Compact 51, Andre Thorburn was blue specifically for that reason. I mean, I just love blue knives. So when I saw this piece, I had to have it. And I agonized over purchasing it because I'd already gone over my limit for purchasing a custom knives for that month. And I said, I don't want anyone else to have it. I've got to have that knife. And so I went in there, went on the Blade Gallery and paid for it with my credit card. And it's already a quarter paid off already on this piece. I've already paid off a quarter of it about an hour ago. I just hit it on my transferred money from my savings into the credit card, and I took care of at least a quarter, so now I don't feel so bad. But yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful piece. It's a liner lock. Let's look at more in the details of this knife. I didn't really get into that, did I? So that blue twill all the way around the side of the knife, that is just eye-catching. The pivot collar is carbon fiber. Once again, this is shredded marble carbon fiber on both sides of the knife. It's got a titanium pocket clip. I don't know what this, like, how he did this, or what type of material, or how he got the titanium clip to look like that. That I don't know, but that's part of the idea of actually owning customs like this. But what I love about it is that you see these blue specks in there, and they actually match perfectly the blue twill on the knife itself, like right on this part. Really, really stands out. I mean, that is a gorgeous looking pocket clip. So to continue on, the back spacer in this case is made of not G10. You would think it's G10, but actually it's carbon fiber. Something interesting too I've never seen before, where the back spacer is kind of split right down the middle to show you that that's where you would put the lanyard hole on. I've never seen that. Usually, knife makers usually make the back spacer maybe a little bit higher up. But it's usually like all, I don't even know how they do that. Usually it's like all one piece, or they'll put it all the way up here and then they'll stop it right here. But on this knife, it's really noticeable. And that's because this knife was meant to have a lanyard on it. I mean, if you look at my Erucus Bloomers piece, this one also has a carbon fiber spacer on it, but he didn't split it there, and there's no place for you to put a lanyard on that knife. So if you're a lanyard person, you probably wouldn't go for this piece here. But JD definitely made it to accommodate you for that on this knife, so I thought that was very interesting. The fact that he split the two back spacers that way gives it another look, something to just notice on a knife. I thought it was interesting. I've never seen that before. You know, where they split it so you can still have a lanyard on your knife. I thought that was kind of interesting. This knife, the action on this knife is absolutely smooth. Very, very smooth. I have never, ever experienced a tool steel bearing knife that is this smooth. Regardless of the fact that this happens to be a custom piece. So JD really put this one together absolutely beautifully as far as the action. The liner lock has got a design on the inside here for the finger choil. Probably for grip, I guess. But it also makes it easier for you to grab that 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 liner lock and push it over. Usually, not that you even find your finger. If you're a knife person, you don't usually have problems with that. But you know, especially if you're someone like me that likes to open and close knives all the time, finding that liner lock and where to push so that you can close the knife, that's never been a problem for me. But, you know, I guess JD felt that maybe someone who's never even handled a knife before, maybe they would need that. But yeah, this makes it easier for your hand to find the, you know, not to have to worry about making sure you get that notch in there. He's actually created the notches for you so you can do it easily. And it also doubles as, you know, I guess better grip for when you're holding the knife. The ergos on this knife are fantastic. If you have large hands, though, you might have your finger or your hand kind of, maybe your finger might kind of slide off a little bit. So that might not be for you, but I have a small hand. So this knife is actually perfect for me as far as the size of the knife. And the fact that the knife does not, you know, it doesn't hang off. My pinky doesn't hang off on the knife like it would on maybe like a smaller, if it were smaller. So for those of you that have medium-sized hands, this is a nice size knife for you. It's a regular drop point blade. Nothing special on the blade shape. What I do like about this particular blade is the fact that it's got this sort of notch in here. It makes it look almost like a little hook or something. Another interesting look on the knife. It's also where your finger would go, I guess, to close the knife. You know, if you wanted to close that way or close it slowly. So the flipper itself, the operation for the flipper, it's more of a push-button flipper. I mean, you can actually press it down, and it would open, versus where you would just sort of swipe the knife and then the blade would fly open, which is the case on certain flipper knives, you know, like this Trevor Burger piece here. This one you would sort of swipe down on it to open and close it. This one it's more of a pressing. Yeah, it's more of like a pressing thing where you can feel like your fingers pressing on it rather than swiping it. So that's kind of new. The jimping on it, on this part of the knife, you know, is, I guess it seems like to me that the jimping up here, which I don't think it's really jimping, it's just sort of decorative. It's for, I guess, yeah, just for aesthetics. But on this knife, the jimping is way up on the top as opposed to, you know, where it normally would be over here, I guess. But over here, it's on the top. The shape of the flipper also, there's sort of like, if you could take a look at this, I've never seen that on a knife either. Maybe that's another design of a custom knife. These are little teeny tiny details that you wouldn't find on production knives. But take a look at that flipper. It's almost like it's disconnected from the knife itself, as opposed to a regular flipper where it looks like it's all one piece. You know what I mean? The way they do that on there. See, that looks like just all one piece. This one is sort of, if I angle it a certain way, it looks almost as if though the flipper is disconnected, kind of. Something interesting to notice, that's all. Yeah, like I said, the pivot collar is carbon fiber as well. So the main materials on this knife are carbon fiber, shredded marble carbon fiber, and blue twill. Again, I'm gonna have to find out more information on the pocket clip. I know it's titanium. I just don't know. I guess I think that's the correct word I'm saying. I don't know the decorative process for this pocket clip. How was that done? You know, I don't know how he got those specs in there, or I just have no idea how that was done. But from looking at this particular pocket clip, you can tell whatever he did to the pocket clip, that is not done by machine. There's no way in hell they could do that by machine. To me, it looks like that was definitely done by hand. And yeah, this knife is once again, this knife is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece by J.D. Van Deventer, designed by Jared Otterloo. You will never see another one like this ever again. As you can see from the Blade Gallery description, it is a one-of-a-kind handmade piece right there. So, there you have it, the J.D. Van Deventer gold Midi flipper with blue twill and marble carbon fiber. Let's open that guy up with an M390 blade, drop point style blade. Just absolutely gorgeous. I have nothing more to say about it. Once again, this is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, signing off, hoping you'll find this piece of particular sharp art in your collection. You guys have a fantastic evening, and I will be back with another video and more insight into the world of South African custom knives. Thank you very much. This is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, signing off. You guys have a good evening, and God bless.